When the clock strikes 12 at the Chandipur train station, the platform falls completely dead. A lone traveler steps off into total silence. There are no cabs waiting. There is no station master in the cabin. The environment immediately isolates him. Sumit carries a highly valuable package of medication. It's a company order, and if it isn't delivered by morning, he loses his job. That economic pressure creates a harsh ultimatum: stay on the freezing platform or walk into the pitch-black road to find a way forward. He walks until he spots a single flickering lantern at a run-down tea stall. The vendor gives Sumit strict directions for the area: stay out of the jungle, ignore anyone calling from the dark, and under no circumstances look back. Most importantly, he warns Sumit that what looks human at this hour is often something entirely different. Economic desperation often overrides basic survival instincts. Sumit's drive to keep his paycheck pushes him away from the relative safety of the station and directly into the dark. Minutes later, a battered auto rickshaw with heavily tinted windows rolls out of the fog. Ignoring the tea vendor's warnings, Sumit climbs into the back seat. Almost instantly, the atmosphere inside the cab turns hostile. The air temperature drops. Instead of watching the road, the driver keeps his eyes locked on the rearview mirror, staring unnaturally at Sumit, tracking his passenger like a predator eyeing a meal. This radar map tracks Sumit. A pulsing dot represents his vehicle. As it crosses into an unlit sector marked the jungle, isolation becomes absolute. In the center of this dead zone, the driver manufactures a breakdown and kills the engine. The driver points to a rotting wooden house nearby and tells Sumit to go ask for directions. The moment Sumit steps out of the vehicle, the driver floors the engine and vanishes, stranding his passenger in the brush. Every element of this journey, the arrival of the vehicle, the specific route, and the calculated breakdown, functions as a coordinated delivery. Sumit has been cleanly severed from human contact and moved into a designated kill zone. Sumit approaches the decaying wooden house. As the heavy door swings open on its own, he steps into a dimly lit room. Suddenly, the driver and another man step right through the solid closed wooden door behind him, completely ignoring the physical boundaries of the space. The figures solidify into the entities known as Badla and Kalu. Their skin sloughs away to reveal dark, molten silhouettes with eyes like burning embers, fueled by an unending hunger. They don't even need to touch him. Badla simply raises a hand, and Sumit is violently yanked into the air by an invisible force. The sheer telekinetic pressure begins crushing his bones, while the entities calculate exactly how slowly they want to drain his life. This is a feeding ground. Sumit is trapped in an environment where the predators have absolute control over gravity and matter, rendering human resistance completely useless. Just as Sumit braces for his ribs to cave in, a blinding flash of blue light floods the ruined house. A booming, heavy voice commands the entities to drop him. The resulting shockwave rattles the timber, and Sumit crashes back to the floor. Stepping out of that light is the silhouette of a man in a vintage police uniform. His nameplate reads Inspector Dutta. He carries no firearm. The authority he projects is entirely kinetic, a thick, crackling aura of blue energy that forces the predators to stagger backward. The entities try to lunge at him, claiming the jungle is their territory. Dutta simply extends an open palm. A concentrated shockwave erupts from his hand, catching both spirits mid-air, incinerating their forms, and violently blasting them completely out of the physical structure. The chaos drops to dead silence. Dutta turns his blurred face towards Sumit. With a surprisingly gentle tone, he tells the terrified man that he is safe now, and forces Sumit into a deep, immediate sleep. This intervention demonstrates a mechanical balance of forces. The raw malice of the predators met an equal, opposing weight of sworn protection, neutralizing the threat instantly. Sumit wakes up to the sound of his own name. It's morning. He's safely lying on the wooden bench of the tea stall he visited the night before. His package of medicine is still firmly in his pocket. The nightmare is over. The tea vendor explains the historical reality of the night. 10 years ago, criminals Badla and Kalu used these roads to kidnap and murder travelers, leaving a legacy of blood in the jungle. This timeline charts actual events from a decade prior. Inspector Dutta was the only honest cop hunting the two men. When he tracked them to that rotting house, they ambushed him, barricaded the doors, and burned him alive. The brutal, decade-old crime of that night remains tracked in a psychic loop, replaying its violence deep in the jungle for anyone unlucky enough to pass through the area. But there was a variable the criminals didn't account for. As Inspector Dutta burned, he swore a dying vow that he would never stop protecting the innocent in his jurisdiction. The sheer willpower of that oath anchors his consciousness to the physical world. Shortly after Inspector Datta's murder, Badla and Kalu both died inside that very same house in a mysterious, sudden fire. Their punishment became an eternal confinement to the location of their crime. Sumit secures his package, finally leaving the haunted limits of Chandipur Station. As he looks back toward the tree line one last time, he spots a faint silhouette in the mist, slowly raising a hand in a crisp salute before dissolving into the morning fog. The local legend of Chandipur survives because the threat is real, but the failsafe holds. A sworn duty to protect can weave itself into the environment, standing as a permanent barrier against the dark.